Hi there, and welcome to this presentation of the Pigott Interact Club. My name is Ellie, and I'm one of the presidents of Pigott Interact for this year. This video will explain how Interact works, what roles there are for you to fulfill, and how Interact is a good thing for your future.
Hi there, welcome to this presentation of the Pigott Interact Club. My name is Ellie, and I'm one of the presidents of Pigott Interact for this year. This video will explain how Interact works, what roles there are for you to fulfill, and how Interact is a good thing for your future. I'm Maya, and I'm joint president of the club, and I find, research and recommend the charities the club should support. And I'm Trevor, Pigott Interact Liaison Officer, and my role is to be as invisible as possible whilst helping the interactors to run the club with minimal disruption and help them avoid or deal with any pitfalls they may encounter. Interact is a part of Rotary International, a global network of neighbours, friends, leaders and problem solvers in 35,000 clubs and with 1.2 million members. Its aims are to take action on the world's most persistent issues, namely fighting disease, providing clean water, saving mothers and children from premature death, supporting the education of young people, promoting peace, creating a greener environment, and growing local economies. There are 15,000 Interact clubs around the world.
So how does Interact work? Each week, on Wednesday afternoon, we meet up with Trevor Barber to discuss how the last event may have gone, what future events we are planning, and what charities we should donate to. Interact is a charity organisation linked to the Rotary Club. Trevor has been a president for the Rotary Club. Interact organises fundraising events to raise money for charities, and some events we have done in the past are virtual quizzes, virtual games nights, and probably our most popular event, the Krispy Kreme donut sales. These aren't all the events we do, as we are planning a trolley dash with Waitrose and some other seasonal events and cake sales.
So how does Interact work? Each week on Wednesday afternoon we meet up with Trevor Barber to discuss how the last event may have gone, what future events we are planning, and what charities we should donate to. Interact is a charitable organisation linked to the Rotary Club. Trevor has been a president of the Rotary Club. Interact organises fundraising events to raise money for charities, and some events we have done in the past are virtual quizzes, virtual games nights, and probably our most popular event, the Krispy Kreme donut sale. These aren't all the events we do, as we are planning a trolley dash with Waitrose and some other seasonal events and cake sales. There are several roles in Interact, which I will now explain. The first and second roles are the President and Vice President roles. These roles are key, as whoever takes them will be chairing the meetings for Interact. This means that you'll be in control of what gets discussed at each meeting. Maya and Ellie share the role this year. Another role you might consider if you are fond of numbers is the Treasurer's role. The Treasurer manages all of the Interact funds and also the bank account with the help of Trevor. The next role is the Secretary role, which is a key role in Interact. The Secretary is in charge of the minutes and the agendas for meetings. They affect what the President and Vice President talk about in the meetings through the minutes and agendas. Then there are the Charity and Fundraising Officers. The Charity Officer decides on which charities the Interact Club will donate to, and the fundraising officer suggests ways that could raise funds to donate to charities. For both of these roles, you can take suggestions from either any other interactors and moderate which ideas become events. And as of last year, we have a new role being introduced to the Interact Club 10th anniversary, which is a social media overseer. This role allows you to control the Pigott Interact Club Instagram account, which if you are a creative person, means that you can make it and model the account to reflect what you are doing in the Interact Club event-wise. So with all the roles and how Interact Club works explained, how can Interact be a good thing for your future? Firstly, Interact is a club that allows you to help others through doing fun things. It might be that you don't like public speaking, or that you get nervous at the thought of speaking in front of people you don't know. Interact helps with the fear of public speaking. For our first event, an online Kahoot quiz, we had to talk people through how it worked, what would happen, and then the questions themselves, all whilst keeping it engaging. This sounds a lot, but with a bit of dry humour and possibly a little passive aggression, it manages to be a success. If you think you can't do this and host an event, that's okay. We'll support you until you feel confident to host the events yourself. Secondly, if you're thinking about a specific role and how you might do this, it's a great reference for when you get to university or to get a job. Trevor is always on hand to write a reference for you, and a little bit of charity work helps boost yourself past where you could have been. It allows you to expand your mindset and to work with people you may not know, which is a skill that you can use later in life. Interact also allows you to connect with people that you may not have met otherwise and work alongside them. To make sure we know all about what is going on outside of our meetings, we have a Discord server to chat and discuss what is going to happen next. As well as you, the future interactors, being on the server, there will also be me and Ellie on the server, as well as past interactors to help if you don't know what to do. More on Trevor's role. The Piggott Interact Liaison Officer, Trevor, he's the grease that helps the club run smoothly whilst being invisible and letting the interactors get on and run the club. He also smooths access to resources from the sponsoring Loddondale Rotary Club, such as supporting fundraising events, having appropriate licenses, dealing with handling, reconciling and banking cash. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Don't be afraid to come along and sit in the meetings before you make up your mind on whether you want to join or not. Any participation is good participation. We'll be holding the meetings first over the Teams at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays. However, we'd be open to hold the meetings in person at a slightly earlier 3 p.m. on Wednesdays, and this will be decided by whether or not people would want to hold these meetings in person. We hope that you feel that joining Interact, if you do, we hope that you feel like joining Interact, and if you do, then we'll see you at the meetings.
So if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Don't be afraid to come along and sit in on the meetings before you make up your mind on whether you want to join or not. Any participation is good participation. We'll be holding the meetings over Teams at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays. However, we would be open to hold the meetings in person at the slightly earlier 3 p.m. on Wednesdays, and this would be decided by whether or not people would want to hold these meetings in person. We hope you feel like joining Interact. If you do, then we'll see you in meetings.
For its first 50 years, Rotary was pretty much an organization for adults. But in the 60s, the times began to change. Kids like me were taking a stand, speaking out, and getting involved. Rotary wanted to unite young leaders and guide their energy towards service, and so Interact was born. Today, Rotary clubs sponsor more than 15,000 Interact clubs in 142 countries. Interactors serve by volunteering in our communities and reaching out to others in need. We connect in our clubs and build friendships around the world. And we lead by developing opportunities for the future. Interact has been changing the world for 50 years. We're the next generation of leaders. Are you ready to join us?